Greetings and good vibes, everybody. This is Erika Christie, and I am the host of Creator Shifts. I have been doing a fair amount of interviews of really amazing artists on this show, but I have been getting a lot of questions coming in about both myself and some of the projects that I've worked on before. And so I am going to start doing a bit of a maybe let's say fireside chat Q&A type of thing. I think for now I'm going to do it every other week as more questions come in, just to give a little bit more of a background on my personal experience. Obviously, I kind of pepper that in a little bit as I'm asking people's questions, but if I bring a guest on and I'm asking them questions, I want to get as much of them in the interview as possible. So I don't do it a lot myself. So I thought maybe it would be fun. So we'll give this a try for a couple sessions and see how it goes. See if everybody likes my answers. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but here we are. All right. So yep, here we go. Let's just jump right in. And let's see what the first question is. Hopefully they're not too scary. All right. What's number one? Which mediums do you most like working in? I work in a lot. I work in a lot of different mediums. And a big part of the Creator Shift podcast is talking to artists who also work in, you could say, multi-mediums, you could say multi-platforms. It's all essentially the same thing, as far as the vernacular goes as to what we're doing. I work a lot in video and film. I do it professionally, do it every single day for my day job. I do a lot of outside projects as well. I also have a theater degree, although I haven't done theater for a number of years. Since I've been in Atlanta for a few years now, I've been doing a lot in the comedy scene. So a lot of filming, directing, producing, editing of comedy projects, which are obviously all done live in a theater. So I'm still a little bit doing my theater stuff, although I would like to get back into a little bit more of like actual like theater play work because I like that so much. On top of that, I do a lot of graphic design, especially things like, pitch decks, one sheeters for people who are like speakers, and then all of my social media content. And I also do social media content for like 4 or 5 different businesses and organizations. So a lot of social content that could be thumbnails for YouTube, that can be quotes, that can be audiograms, that can just be taking photos and doing, interesting things with them. And then, as I said, lots of pitch decks, art Bibles, that sort of thing. I work a little bit in the comic book realm as well. I spent a good number of years kind of learning how to transfer all of my screenwriting skills into the comic book world, because writing for comic books is more different than writing for any of the other mediums. Like, it's really, really shocking. And hold on, my microphone is about to start moving. Hold still. Sorry, I'll try not to use my hands or my microphone will start following me as I'm moving around. I also played music for many, many years. I haven't done it professionally in quite some time, but I do a lot with music. So I like working with musicians. I like filming them. I like making music videos. I like working with them live, setting up audio, doing all that sort of stuff. Try to think, is there a medium I'm forgetting? Podcasts, I work a lot in audio. I've done a little bit with audiobooks. I would like to get more into it. I'm sort of one of those people that always gets commented on, "Oh, you have an interesting voice. Do you do voiceover type stuff?" I've done it a little bit. I wouldn't mind getting more into it. I do enjoy doing it. I actually enjoy doing voiceover stuff more than I like being on camera, but I have to be on camera, so I'll get more used to it, don't worry. Wow, is that all the mediums? I feel like I'm missing some things. Photography, I do a lot. I work a lot as a professional photographer, especially for big events, which I really like doing. Yeah, I think that's it. And the question is, which do I like more? So I sort of missed the point of the question. I like them all. My answer would be I like writing and directing the most. So anytime I can do those two things, and those two things are really valid in pretty much all of those different mediums that I mentioned. So if I can direct and write, I'm happiest doing that. I like working on teams. I like managing teams. Anything that's multidisciplinary makes me really happy. If I get to work on a project where I get to work on with graphic designers and musicians, and filmmakers and uh, the writers, and like anytime I can do all of that, I like that the most. So writing and directing are the two things that I like the most. Okay, let's see what the next question is. Although I sort of kind of answered that one. Maybe I'll get better at answering questions. What's a what's a film or piece of content you wish you had created? That's a lot. There's so many that I could put into this. Uh, I work a lot in science fiction and fantasy, so anytime I see anything in that realm, I'm excited, enamored, and slightly jealous that I didn't get to work on it. I would say as a child, it was, things like Tim Burton. I would say I think I was probably 15 or 16 when I first saw Frankenweenie, which I think I would say had a big, big impact on me. That and Vincent, that sort of style, that whole sort of Tim Burton-esque look to it, really inspired me, and it was like that's definitely where I wanna go. So a lot of my fantasy stuff, a lot of my sci-fi stuff, and just my approach to directing actors and my approach as far as camera work and lighting. Anytime I can do that low key, really dramatic lighting, dramatic scenery, dramatic actors performing, like I love that sort of thing. More recently, I guess my answer, there's a filmmaker, which I should have remembered his name before I started this sentence. Uh, Peter Lindgren. I follow him on Instagram and YouTube, and every time he puts something out, I'm instantly jealous because he's so fantastic. I've seen some of his finished products. I've seen a huge amount of his behind the scenes stuff, and the thing that's so fascinating about him is that he does his behind the scenes stuff in the same way that he films his actual projects. Why are we even talking about this? Let's just go to his YouTube channel, because I tend to follow him a lot on there. So let's just look him up like this. We're going to switch to screen share. All right, here we go. And now let's look up Peter Lindgren, because he's fantastic. And if you don't already follow him, you absolutely should follow him because he's that much fun. Yep, here he is. Here's Peter Lindgren. You can just see from his YouTube thumbnails how just visually stunning all of his stuff is. So it's really good. So here's him. Here's him in his studio. Lots of fun camera stuff. Again, you can see how fun his thumbnails are. This is one of the first videos that I saw, which is a 10-minute behind the scenes on how he did this poker thing. And I was completely enamored the first time I saw it. He really is awesome. So if you don't follow Peter Lindgren, start following him because he's great. Here's him doing, so he does lots of gear reviews, he does unboxing, he does a lots of advertisement. Here's another one, this one here, the image that you see with Wild Turkey, another behind the scenes where he does his behind the scenes video in the same vibe of the way that his actual finished. In this case, I believe it was some kind of an advertisement he did for Wild Turkey. But you could just see from this little thumbnail rolling how great this looks. So yeah, I would say, present day, he's the one when I see his work, I'm the most excited about. Anytime I see him do something, I'm like, "Wow, he's amazing." I'm excited, I'm slightly jealous. I wish I did something a little bit more like that, but, that's what it is.